early this morning.
All right, breaking news alert. Let's go right now to the news conference that's underway regarding the Anne Arundel County police officer who was shot.
I'm here giving a briefing as opposed to him because that means our officer's still alive and fighting, and hopefully he'll pull through. What we know at this point is it was just after 2 a.m. when the officer had a self-initiated contact with a suspect at the 7-Eleven store over here near College Parkway. Apparently, a witness said this person looked suspicious outside the store. The officer made contact with that person. Some type of struggle ensued where they both ran on foot away from the 7-Eleven. At that time, witnesses described hearing a gunshot. Officers were also coming to the scene to back up that officer. When they arrived, they saw the officer suffering from a gunshot wound. At this time, the officer's at Shock Baltimore in critical condition. The suspect description that we have at this point is a black male, approximately 5'4" to 5'8", approximately 20 to 30 years of age, black hoodie that he was wearing that was up, dark skin, dark pants, and those pants were not jeans. We're not sure if a vehicle is associated with this right now. We just know that the suspect fled on foot from the area. Again, the injuries right now are described as critical, and we're just asking for everyone's thoughts and prayers. And if anyone saw anything in this area in the overnight hours, we want you to give our tip line a call at 410-222-4700 or 410-222-8610. So anything that you might have seen, this occurred about 2:20 a.m. here in this area of College Parkway. We're a few miles from the Bay Bridge, in a pretty isolated area, so to speak, but a very heavily traveled area, as Route 50 is not far from us.
You know what initiated the suspect that initiated that call to the officer?
That's something we're still going to have to figure out right now. Again, someone told us that person looked like something was going on. Of course, at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're going to look at every angle. We don't know if this was a foil robbery. We don't know what the situation was, but we hope to determine that at a later point in our investigation.
Any indication the officer returned fire?
At this point, we're still investigating that. We don't know the answer to that question at this time.
So at one point you're saying the officer...
Do we know whose gun was fired? Was there a hand-to-hand incident between these officers gun taken? Do we know whose gun was fired?
We believe the suspect fired his gun at our officer.
The suspect was armed?
The suspect we will consider armed and dangerous, absolutely.
Gun been found?
No, I don't have any information on that at this point.
But it was not the officer's gun that had been taken from the officer.
It doesn't appear that the officer was disarmed by the suspect.
What's the nature of the officer?
The officer received at least a gunshot wound to the upper body, and he's in critical condition at this point. I don't have a description as far as how much time that officer has on, but is a veteran of our agency who is at shock trauma right now.
Was he shot in the vest?
No, he was not shot in the vest.
Do you know how long the foot pursuit lasted?
It doesn't appear to be too long. The scene is about 100 or 200 feet from the 7-Eleven, so not too far from the 7-Eleven. You can see the 7-Eleven from where the officer was found.
For those of us who didn't have a mic here at the very beginning, can you hit us again with it? How this thing all started?
So it was just after 2 a.m. Self-initiated check suspect call where a witness described a suspicious person outside of the 7-Eleven here on College Parkway. When the officer arrived, he went up to that person. Some type of struggle ensued where they both ran. The suspect ran from the officer. At that point, a gunshot was fired by the suspect, striking our officer. Our officer remains right now in critical condition at shock trauma. The chief of police is at shock trauma with him, and this is a very active and fluid investigation, so details will change as the day goes on. But our suspect is described as a black male, 5'4" to 5'8", 20 to 30 years of age, black hoodie that he was wearing, dark skin, dark pants that were not jeans. And again, we're just asking anyone who was in this area, who heard something, looked out their window, noticed a vehicle that didn't fit this community, they're not used to please give our tip line a call at 410-222-4700.
Any advice for residents to consider this a manhunt to They stay in their homes? What should they be looking for at this point?
Anything suspicious. The residents should look for anything suspicious, but as you can see, a number of officers in and around the area. We've been checking the immediate area. You've seen K-9 officers, you've seen SWAT officers, you've seen patrol officers, our tactical officers. Everyone's been out. So we're checking the immediate area to make sure the area is safe. We've been in contact with the school system to make sure the schools in the area are safe. So we're good on that front. But again, we don't have a suspect. We don't know where that suspect is at this point in time.
Was it somebody who was just like at 7-Eleven, or the person on the counter that noticed something might not, and just wanted to reach out, or?
At this point, I don't have those specific details of exactly who made the report or who said the suspect looked suspicious outside, but it was enough that the officer it drew his attention, and he went over to investigate further, and then we see what happened from there.
He already happened to just be stopping there, and.
Yes, that's an important detail. The officer was just arriving on the scene on his own. He wasn't coming here for any type of call for service. This was self-initiated, so he was stopping by the business.
He saw the person was being suspicious.
The officer ultimately did see the person was being suspicious, apparently.
Just to be clear, so 7-Eleven didn't call and say there's somebody here?
No, nobody called to say that somebody was here being suspicious. When the officer arrived at the 7-Eleven, somebody informed him that somebody was there, and they seemed suspicious. The officer then approached them and had some reason to further deal with them.
And Jay, was the officer able to call on the radio that he had been shot, or did somebody else assist him?
No, sir. The officer was not able to call at that point, no.
Was there a period of time before he was able to get assistance for people from the 7-Eleven to come to him? Or?
Officers were actually en route to back him up because he called out on the radio that he was here for a call for service at that point. So officers were en route to back him up. He arrived on scene. An officer actually is the one who found him.
Are there surveillance cameras at the 7-Eleven that may have captured anything?
We're investigating right now to see if there's any surveillance images from citizens or businesses in the area. And if you possess any of that, we would ask you to call our tip line.
And just being suspicious in general, it's kind of broad right now for you guys?
Well, yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning, a business. That's normal behavior for our officers to go to our businesses that are open 24 hours. And if a business owner, business manager, or citizen reports something suspicious at 2 in the morning, that's something absolutely we're going to investigate.
But we don't know what this guy was really doing.
Don't know the full story of that yet.
All right, I got here a little bit late, but did you already establish how big this perimeter is right now?
No, it's a pretty wide perimeter. We've widened it and we've been able to shrink it down some, but of course we've checked this surrounding area pretty extensively with dogs, foot patrols, and tactical officers and patrol officers. All right. If we get anything else, we'll get it out as soon as possible. Any updated lookouts, we'll get out as soon as possible. We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at AACOPD. That's where we'll probably get the latest and greatest information out on this. But again, we just ask for everybody's thoughts and prayers. First and foremost, we want to make sure our is okay. So we're going to continue to be out here for a good portion of the day, and hope that he can pull through this.
A very active situation at this hour in Anne Arundel County. As you just heard, police there are searching for a suspect who shot a police officer. This happened very early this morning at about 2:20, and it happened in Arnold off of College Parkway. They have told us that the officer involved was shot and is in critical condition. He's been taken to Baltimore Shock Trauma, and they put out a lookout for a suspect.
That's right, and it was interesting to hear some of the details that led up to this shooting. That representative from the Anne Arundel County Police Department saying that this officer happened to be at a 7-Eleven store, went inside the store, and a person inside the store told him that there was a suspicious person. He then went up to the person and some sort of a struggle ensued. The suspect then ran away. The officer followed, and then gunshots were heard. We do now have a description of the suspect, a black male, approximately 5'4" to 5'8", 20 to 30 years old, wearing a black hoodie, dark complexion, dark pants. Police are asking anybody who has any information about this person or about what happened to call the tip line, that number 410-222-4700, another number 222-8610.
course, the manhunt is underway, and they do say this is sort of a secure area or a closed-off area, not too far from the Bay Bridge, but they are checking the area right now, making sure it's safe for people who live in that area. They say school is in session today in that area, and buses are making an effort to pick up all their students. So we'll keep on top of this story and bring you any new developments as they happen.